G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the game between Gold Coast and Geelong, which was at People's First Stadium last night, Friday night. Whew, rough watch. Rough watch it was. We are at round zero. We'll have to remember that. Won't be calling panic stations or anything like that with the way that the Cats performed first up. Gold Coast, incredibly good. Their pressure was unbelievable. I'd like to see the pressure numbers. I don't think I got to see them throughout the game, but I'm sure we'll see it at some stage, probably Monday night. No doubt on either 360 or on the couch. But Gold Coast just suffocated the Cats for basically 3 quarters, and then they just basically called it a night after 3/4 time. But look. Alarming start, but not an alarming pattern at this stage. Again, clearly coming off grand final performance, couple of stars out, just a little bit flat. So, I mean, I'm not super shocked in the result, considering my prediction was 6-7 goal plus win to the SUNS. So, I expected what happened, and what happened. They started off really well. Geelong made a lot of really poor mistakes, and it would have to probably be I don't know if it's top 5, but definitely top 10 worst losses I've seen the Cats probably over the last sort of 20 years or so. So we will put that out there. That's an objective fact. But Collingwood looked like a bottom 4 side in round 0 against the Giants last year, and then went to 14-2 or whatever it was, made a preliminary final, lost to the generational Brisbane side, and then you've got Brisbane lost to the Suns by 66 points in round 20 last year. That didn't bother them winning the premiership. So, all got to take all things into perspective. Gold Coast will absolutely bash some clubs up, especially at their home deck. And look, they're getting better. That's a fact as well. There's been some pretty good off-field acquisitions that they've brought into the club, and if you saw my preview about the one play that did break our heart, Christian Petrarca was absolutely on fire, playing probably just about his best game of his life, if not second best to his 2021 grand final, which is also a pretty good performance. But Geelong, I guess we'll focus on them since that's what the review's all about. They just looked really lethargic, and lots of skill errors. We kept turning the ball over. Gold Coast pressure also forced us into a lot of turnover as well. But never looked likely. We were hanging around sort of early days, but then once Gold Coast got their game going, they were pretty tough to stop. Even we were getting first possession at times, but then just turning it over, or Gold Coast pressure forcing us into turnover. They would rebound really quickly, and then basically make us pay. The backline looks pretty rattled, but also where was the pressure? So you look at Gold Coast pressure, and it was a 10 out of 10, if anything. And you look at Geelong's pressure, and Gold Coast are just moving the ball without much fuss, without any pressure sort of coming their way. And if anything, there was, maybe an effort here or there, but then, Gold Coast would have multiple repeat efforts. And I guess, Tom Atkins probably really... there was one contest where he just had like 5 goes at it. And if you had 23 Tom Atkins, it would be pretty good. But, it wasn't to be. Gold Coast just kept high on the scoreboard. It was leaking like a sieve down back. It was very similar to the 2024 game in, I think it's TIO Stadium. Either way, up in Northern Territory. Where we're just exposed pretty badly. But then again, in 2024, we lose by 11 goals to the Suns, and we make a prelim final, lose to the generational Brisbane again by 10 points, and it could have been 4 points had Reece Stanley kick straight. But we won't go too deep into the 2024 preliminary final today. If you really want to, you can go back, but I wouldn't advise against that if you're a Cats fan. Really big third term for the Suns, and just weren't able to really just never really looked likely to sort of win the contest up front. Not until the last quarter when Gold Coast basically just turned the tap off and called it a night. Basically, they let us get a few easy ones that Geelong were able to sort of convert. But again, that was only because Gold Coast sort of released the shackles a touch after being super hot for 3 quarters. Like you can't do that kind of pressure for 4 quarters straight. It's pretty hard to do. And then, Geelong just cashed in some easy ones at the end. Very reminiscent of the grand final, unfortunately. But again, it made the scoreboard, I guess, not look closer to 100 points versus, a little bit closer to the half century, which, not really much respectability on the scoreboard, but, saved it from being super embarrassing and very, almost don't know if you can come back from. But look, to their credit, they kept cracking in. Some solid plays in the back half of that last quarter, but again, the game was over probably half time. To be fair, even quarter time was looking pretty dicey, but just lots of skill errors. And when it did go into Geelong's front half, it was just rebounded out with ease. So whether Geelong moved the ball in there too quickly, whether you have to slow it down a little bit when you lack a bit of that personnel that can win a big contest up forward. We talk about Paddy and Cameron probably being 2 guys that can really make an impact there. And Stengel's been a massive player for us in the past as well, especially against the Suns. He's had a really good record. So, you take those 3 guys out, probably 3 of the biggest scorers, and then you've got some inexperience. So it's like a double-edged sword, really, when, you've got guys in there that probably on the fringe or out of position. I mentioned Everett, he's not a forward, and yet they were playing him forward, even though we've got Polkinghorne, who's a natural forward and can take a clunk, which we just simply couldn't take a clunk at all. But kudos to Gold Coast for being extremely slick and really damaging with the ball. We all expect them to likely be top 4, if not top 2, if they play their cards right throughout the season. But it's round 0. A lot of clubs looked ordinary round 0 last year. It's a long season. It can sort of change, but that's kind of the run of the game. I haven't actually checked the stats, but we'll look over them now. I might be surprised on some of them. I think in general, though, from a contest perspective, we were doing okay based on the numbers that I saw on the night, but just weren't as clean. And I think there's numbers and there's getting out of stoppage. Breaking out of the front of stoppage without much pressure behind you is a bit different than getting a handball straight into more pressure. But that'll come out in the wash very shortly. All right, let's get stuck into the stats. Plus 30 for Gold Coast for the ball. Plus 21 inside 50s. We definitely felt that. So, look, 71 inside 50s, that's an astronomical number to concede that many entries. 50 for Geelong. Disposal efficiency, Gold Coast were very slick with the ball. Geelong, not so. They're probably normally 73, 74%. So, wasn't quite right. Didn't really feel like the efficiency up front was that good. I'm not sure how it's 50% efficiency inside 50 when we got 50 inside 50s, but only 19 scoring shots. Whether there was 6 that completely missed, I'm not sure. But hey, who knows? Plus 12 in the free kicks was quite interesting. A fair difference. Didn't really feel like it on the night, but anyway. Plus 20, plus 33 for the Suns in the hit out. So Witsy had a big day, field day out there. But plus 7 clearances. So Gold Coast only 34, which seems like quite a low number. And then out of the centre clearance, Geelong often getting first possession, but then just inviting more pressure and sort of turning the ball over, basically giving them back to the Suns. And the amount of front half turnovers that Gold Coast got from off the back of, it's perceived pressure as well. You create your own luck sometimes. If you have a lot of built up pressure, you're going to make more mistakes, and conditions, Geelong aren't used to them. Just really tough work of it around the ground. Gold Coast plus 11, plus 9 in contest. Outside, it's definitely where Gold Coast were looking pretty good. But yeah, surprising. Geelong's outside ball definitely tough to come by throughout the match. A lot more turnovers, as we can see, plus 13. Yeah, interesting marking game. No one really got on top in there. Usually there's a team that takes 100 marks, not to be. Marks inside 50. Geelong normally good at that. Weren't able to make the most of it. 13 for the Suns, but a lot of their damage was sort of ground ball, which Geelong just could not get their hands on, which was very frustrating to watch. Contested marks, pretty even. And Geelong, I think they might have kicked the first, or early days they were up, but the Gold Coast led for basically all night. I like to look at the tackles and the disposals. That's a good indicator of work rate. And Gold Coast clearly they came to work, and Geelong not so much. The inside 50 tackles, Gold Coast were all over the Cats, not as many, and that showed with just how much D50 transition that the Gold Coast were able to extrapolate throughout the night. And a lot more running carries we can see there. I'm sure those 4 bounces probably are all Max Holmes. But I think Tanner Bruin had a good crack at it. So, we'll get stuck into Tanner shortly. 1%ers even both used the full cap of interchange perfectly. The votes are really tough, but hey, I've come up with something. So we go 3 votes. I'm going to give him to Tanner Bruin. He had a shot on goal. He missed that one. Had the 31 disposals, 5 marks, had a tackle, a couple of clearances, 600 metres game, which is really impressive, and 2 goal assists. Off to 72% game time, which is really, really good. Really good numbers. He looked really slick. First game back into it after not being able to play season 2025 with off-field circumstances semi out of his control. But he was fantastic and an absolute standout. A little bit of an indictment that he was their best player, but look, I was very impressed with his effort and his class throughout the night. His little sidestep that also catches you off guard. Tommy Atkins gets my 2 votes. He had the 26 disposals, 3 marks, 6 tackles, 6 clearances. He works hard. There's probably so many things that he does that doesn't quite get recorded on the stat sheet, but I thought he was fantastic. And if Tom Atkins gets 3 or 2 votes, we're kind of in trouble as well. So you want Tom Atkins getting 1 vote, because then it might be indicative that other players not quite pulling their weight, and you can't have Tom Atkins only pulling the weight. 1 vote was really hard because I could barely find a third player, but I'm going to go Bailey Smith, and again, far from his best game. He had the 23 disposals, 3 marks, a couple of tackles. Largely, I've given it to him for a lot of meterage gains. We know he can blast the ball 55. He set up a goal as well, but I just thought, when I saw him get a lot of the ball when things are pretty tough, and he was, at least he was trying to generate some running carry in that second half when they moved him a little bit to half back. So it was very hard to pick a third because, even though there's some decent numbers accumulated up in the top part of the fantasy points, a lot of butchering of the ball and not really being very clean. But let's get stuck into the rest. Graham Myers, solid, but again, very wayward with the ball. We did have 28 disposals. It was lively around the ground, but just wasn't able to use it. As we know he can. Also injured, whether he was right to play, not sure, but still was able to get a fair bit of the ball. Max Holmes knows how to get the ball, doesn't know how to use it that well. Tough night for him. He's trying his guts out, and I think that's a common theme here. Like, they absolutely tried their guts out. It was just, it just wasn't classy or very clean to sort of watch. But I have given him some wax before about clearance game. He was getting a fair bit on that front. So he's sort of like that 3 to 5 per game. But nine's a pretty good number. Mentioned Tom Atkins. Ollie Dempsey, he ended up kicking 4 by full time. So that looks good on paper. How it all happened, it was basically a repeat of the grand final where he just was on the end of a few late when everyone was asleep. But hey, 4 goals is 4 goals. James Warple, first game in the hoops, played okay. Definitely, some good numbers with the tackles and clearances. Undisciplined, well, maybe a bit unlucky, undisciplined reversal. He literally had a free kick and a 50-metre penalty and gave it back somehow. I don't know. The umpires got a little bit sucked in, but anyway, that's how it goes. Mark O'Connor played okay. I'm not sure. He had the 6 tackles there with his 17 disposals, but he was. It wasn't as clean as he normally would be. I don't think he was on Petrarca, but I'm pretty sure he kept Noah Anderson relatively quiet, if that was who he was on. I wasn't really paying attention to direct matchups. I was just paying attention to the all the goals that Gold Coast were kicking. Stewart was all right. He had the 24 disposals, but again, he was on Humphrey a time and he smashed us. So, but again, back line with 71 entries. Good luck. You could have 6 Matthew Scarletts and still be, right up against it. Zach Guthrie had some moments, but again, he was a little bit sluggish. He was able to control the ball in the air a little bit at times, but just wasn't quite himself. Wasn't winning the contest as we know he can. Some decent tackles played. Hopefully got a few tackles. He did. Loves a tackle. Sully, decent numbers, but again, just some of those, when he makes a turnover, it's horrible. It almost ends up in a goal every time. I think of a couple in the grand final, but look, it was good. It was really good early, and then, just some of those really harsh turnovers that make you go, all right. Like, he was probably in our top 5 for the night, but just some really poor mistakes that make you go, come on. Lawes, after having a really great game in the State of Origin, just a bit lackluster. It was a pretty rough night. Uses the ball pretty well, as we know. 5 tackles. So, again, we know he's got more in him, but, it was a tough night for everyone. Blitzarves had a pretty tough night at the office with, Witz is top tier ruckman. Not really much to write home about with Blitzarves, but he did set up a goal. Did get a bit of ruck work in there, but it was pretty tough going, that's for sure. Manor did end up with a goal, 10 disposals, set up a goal. Very quiet. Again, players, half forwards and forward pockets are literally at the mercy of what's happening up the ground. But even still, like, you want them to be pressuring, keeping the ball inside 50, and just not enough tackles from our forward line. Not enough desire to keep it in the forward line once it did land. And it wasn't Gold Coast taking a lot of intercept marks. It was more so us just not competing at ground level. Ollie Henry was... look, he ends up with a couple of goals. And look, if he kicked 2 a week, he's going to end up with 50 goals. So look, from that perspective, you take it. But just some efforts in the air where you go, all right, are you really fully committed to this? And then just some other plays where you go, oh, come on. Jack Henry, look, he tried his guts out. 15 disposals, 4 marks. He's ever so reliable. King still had a fair few on the board, but again, I wasn't sure if Henry was playing on King or if DeConing was. I didn't really see, but I suspect Henry would have played on King, who kicked a few. But again, with that supply, good luck. DeConing, had a bit of the ball. Did he play ruck? 1 hit out. Okay. So, he played some ruck time, maybe. Just can't kick the ball. Bring back Jake Kolodjasny. I hope he's right to go soon, because, DeConing just literally cannot kick the footy. I don't know what he's doing with the ball sometimes, but, he just looks like a peddler's chook sometimes. Mitch Nevitt in the side, up forward. He ended up with a goal from, it was about 35 out, so that was handy. Set up a goal. But just a lot of these disposals get smothered, or he's still got a fair way to go. Obviously, without the sub, hopefully we can see the best of Mitch Nevitt. But I'm yet to see, and I can see he's a great mark, but I'm just yet to see some real weapons from him. But you can't wish time away. Shannon Neal kicked 1 goal, 2, set up a goal, took a couple of marks, but he's dropped a fair few. Didn't lead up much. Didn't really make Collins really defend to his full effect. So, yeah, Neil's got a lot of work to do, but again, no Cameron, no Dangerfield. He's kind of like the main guy up there for that game. So, but yeah, still, he's got plenty to learn and sort of, work on his craft. Get on the move a bit more, I think, inside the front half. Like, get on the lead. Move. Don't just call for it running back with the flight. Just go hit up at the ball. Demand the ball. That's all I ask. Jackie Martin got a bit of the ball, especially early, and was able to, at least try and present at times. Took some good grabs, but largely ineffective. Against his old side, Jai Clark had to go early. They managed his minutes quite significantly there, played half the game, and got a little bit of the ball, kicked a nice goal. So, a couple of clearances. O'Sheen, very quiet, and 4 tackles, only 4 disposals. I don't know if he was on Petrarca or if he was on Anderson, not really sure, but very, very quiet stats for a guy that played 80% game time. Brad Close on the bottom of the list here, and he had the 8 disposals, but just out of confidence, out of form at the moment. I mean, we know his best looks pretty good, and again, it didn't have too many favours from the midfield and sort of half forward line, giving him some opportunities, but just not sure. He's had a bit of a lean patch. Hopefully we can see the best of Brad Close, but one to watch. Hopefully we're optimistic that he can sort of get back to his best, but it was bit of a sour note for him. Guess that's a look at the game, and if we go into next week, we've got Fremantle. This one will be at GMHBA Stadium Saturday afternoon. It'll be Saturday twilight game. Must watch game, that's for sure. The Dockers have had some good results prior to 2024, but I feel like they got the Cats 2 or 3 times in a row in Geelong. But Geelong have had the Dockers the last couple of times. I expect Geelong to respond. I'm not too concerned with round 0 result. If it was a similar result against the Dockers though next week, then it'll be very, very concerning. But I'm fairly confident Geelong will bounce back and find a way to amend what was pretty disappointing. I guess it was a disappointing end of 2025. Not a great start to preseason and round 0, but they're a quality side. They'll turn it around. They'll find a way. So they'll figure it out. They've got some pretty good. They've got some talent and pretty good coaching staff to surround that and support that. They'll be fine. I hope so. Anyway, they'll be okay. All right. Well, so it was a bit of a reality check early days. Gold Coast getting the job done by 56 points. Massive win to them, and loved the Cats' colours, and they'll have to lick their wounds and dust themselves off and hopefully come back stronger next week down in the Cattery and hopefully get back on the winners list with a W against the Dockers. So that's all from me, folks. Hope you enjoyed the review. Give it a like if you did, and interested to hear your analysis down below in the comments, so chuck it down there. Subscribe away if you want to check out how the Cats are going each and every week. I'll do analysis post Geelong's games, and we'll see how we go on the preview front as well. So if you see some previews, suss them out as well. Love it. All right. Thanks heaps for sticking around, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll catch you guys all next time.